I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I have a book. It's titled, Sir, We Found Your Dog. It's a book written about my friend Trent Schmidt. He died when I was in the Army. But his family wrote this book, and there's a chapter with a bunch of poems that he wrote. And I'm just going to read some, if that's okay with y'all. The first one, A Hypothetical Life. The glimmer comes easily from external imaginings, leaving only insight 2020, perspective and context, except the truly diluted who believe in pacifism, which doesn't actually exist. The search for purpose, a pastime, and the real purpose, the search. Research, retread, retreat, never finding the point. Sometimes faith is all we have. Honestly, faith is all there is. The difference between living and existing, pragmatism, so to speak. While all make the mistake, lethargy for pragmatism, pragmatism for pessimism, pessimism for realism, realism for reality. Reality is always consumed by relativity, so everything is consumed. The next one, A Settled Life from an Unsettled Mind. As I sit among my peers, I find my mind a-wondering, images fleeting before my seers. The lecture becomes a blundering. Like a frog upon the lily pad, my thoughts don't seem to settle. Seeking focus ironclad, the subject tests my mettle. So I set my thoughts a-hoppin', searching for some stable ground. As they begin to topple in, a worthy subject is finally found. My mind lands upon the cross. I determine to abide a while. The greatest love, the saddest loss, ignorance of man, fateful trial. Crystal clear, I become aware, the sacrifice he made for me, a sacrifice I'm meant to share, and so I settle my life in thee. The next one, All I Have. Pain is my poetry is me. It's my inspiration, it's all I see. Sadness is my hand is my link, solving the puzzle of all I think. Wretched is my pen, for it tells no lie. Can't have what you want, and don't know why. Doomed am I, but can tell for sure. Know the symptoms, but have no cure. Can you tell how my soul aches? Can anybody just understand? There is no winner in my battle for me. No place inside for a final stand. This one is called Conversation. A Caribbean rhythm, like a film dulling. The viols of Wagner, it makes for a bumpy ride. And your thoughts are not as clear as unsullied melody. Then your eyes rain in your thoughts, and a familiar soul reveals itself, and your voice takes over, and words submit back again to your thoughts. And you don't know where you've been. Where you are is just as opaque. Is the light struggling to break through, or is the darkness sending its clouded scouts? A besparkled eye, a furrowed brow, a crinkled nose, a thoughtful mind, an engaging spirit. So why do you ask such questions? Why do you reflect so much when you should just be? Being, presence, the moment. Fortunately, there is forgiveness. There is oversight. There is conversation, not debate, not deliberation, just conversation. No conclusion, and therefore it ends well. Free will. The declaration of free will from the dawn of time, echoing, reverberating in our collective mind. Free will to create, to conceive, to contribute, or still, to kill. The perception of free will, the conception of our mind. Einstein's true relativity. I judge yours better than mine. Clouded will of a mime, inside. The practice of free will, as we mimic and idolize. Flocks of birds, schools of fish, fear of being ostracized. The right manners to socialize. Fit in. The practicality of free will, it does not truly exist. You are not really your own, yet desire for freedom persists. So we seek religious trysts. Use it. The reality of free will. Our minds can't conceive it. Illusion of concept. Deceit of precept. So many hearts don't believe it. So many souls just leave it. Love it. The despair of free will. Choices must be made. From outcomes already chosen. From pathways already made, and foundations already laid. No choice. The deception of free will. Lies regarding the cost. Purchased with pound of flesh. Payment made on whipping post. Freedom, innocence lost. Not found. The predictability of free will. Our excuse is to do harm. Rather to show tough love, no one to raise the alarm. Broken heart and broken arm knew it. Gratitude. I must say, I am grateful. To whom, you may ask? Thank you for asking. I was beginning to think no one ever would. I am thankful to those people who are real, straight shooters. They tell it like it is, and make sure they share their honesty with others. To those in whom no falsehood can be found, to those who carelessly toss around their coveted, their exclusive, their moral high ground. I am so very thankful for humble attitudes. It's not you, it's me. Thankful for platitudes. I am being selfish. Don't you think I should be? Could I have any more gratitude? Possibly, if I were to search. Or any more high-minded than you? Possibly, if I were to search. Forgive me for not searching, for I am already so grateful. And I fear a gluttonous death, but I must say I am grateful. Why, you may ask? Why, yes, you may ask. Again, thank you for asking. If you had not, I think, it would not have been asked. I am thankful for the image, the reflection such lives provide, lives such as yours. As if looking in a mirror, I see flesh just like mine. Similar hair, similar smile, but there is something peculiar. The peculiar confession of reflection. All is not as it seems. Left is not left, and right is not right. Both are there, reflecting opposite. And this is why I am grateful, because I see you, your reflection, my reflection. And I am not you, and I must say I am grateful. How to let go. I cannot tell the source of, this consequence of, the pain of letting go. All I can tell of is how to let go of things you cannot know. Loathe the riddle of, unattainable goals of, the heart and the soul. The only way to be rid of is by the disposing of. L'amour most foul. Be the executioner of all things unheard of, dreams within the deep. So be the hunter of those things unheard of, make your murder complete. Not everything is always so bad. Not everything has to be apocalyptic. I'm just saying. Sorry, the title of this one is I'm Just Saying. I know sometimes it is hard to grasp. Reality seems to argue with the fancies of romance. Yet there is the dogged grip of possibility that we try to kill but cannot deny. Possibility's existence clouds reality. What could have been never mirrors what should have been, and possibility should always chase away could have beens, regret. I'm just saying. You desire should have beens, which instantly makes them relative, while could have beens are unbounded based on possibility and constantly stretch reality. I'm just saying. Unless you are dead, could have beens take tea. With every decision we face, pray should have beens give way to could have beens. Then dies what would have been, and we rejoice in reality becoming possibility. I'm just saying. This one, in love, old soul. Oh, beautiful soul, don't ever leave me. For you I love. For you I breathe. For you I exist. And I feel the same. You are spiritual, and all I want to be. You are perfect in setting me free. Stay transparent, but only to me. To a tangled world, my only key. So with you I live, and with you I stay. Alone with you, all times of the day. Blind with no clue, searching for things to do, but always together. This is killing by fractions. Have pity if you'll please. Kill me by degrees. Dying is a distraction when dying by fractions. Blood slowly freezing, reaper sardonic teasing, sun eternally setting, like a slow bloodletting, being one pill shy of a suicidal try. Slowly placing gun to head, powder and brass, but no lead. Repeating unresolved note, the mad fading of hope. Do you find satisfaction in killing by fractions? This is Killing by Fractions, Part 2. It does not matter how great the fraction. It is still only a fraction, and all fractions are slow. When you are dying, agonizing, multiplying. The sloth of your killing me. Why? I know why. I am painfully aware of my need to die, my need to choose. But how is it you stare and wait to take part? I am under no illusion. I have lost my religion, no longer searching for conviction. This is death by fractions. Knowing what you want, knowing it is divinely denied, knowing it is out of reach, no matter how you try. Expected to accept it, but what happens when you cannot, and your desired prize comes to antagonize, titillating the surface of your mind, the borders of your life. So you stretch and strain, try your hand at juggling, but you cannot grasp a mirage. But you grasp the meaning of my arms are broken from having embraced clouds, and another fraction is carved away, another stolen, depressing day. A fraction of your desire, so thin a slice taken, unreplaced. Fractions take their toll, but never take the whole. This one is titled Me. Flash forward, cobblestones, leading sandals to temples to sacrifice a life. The dull unknown of ancient rites, gazing, constantly gazing, while beating the uneven stones, like the conflicting commands of all gods. So the peasant casts the dice, click, click, against the wall. He has no luck. He's a peasant. I sit in the courts of Olympus and converse with dear Bacchus. He talks a lot, but I always forget what he says. I can only assume he speaks incessantly of himself. And we bake in the sun. How is it he can speak? Through the beating of the fans. But it is the only way I recognize his voice. All the while, the searing sun defiles the integrity of my life, and his whitewashed temple walls, constantly battling termites. I battle my past, which, with all the energy of a god, dogs me to the last. This one is my final dream, prophesizing death. In watching life's unbridled rage, I become the shadow man, set out to break this vile beast in a world where exists no age. No ground on which to stand, all movement has ceased. Imagination alone left, the vehicle in this barren land. No mind to open, no eyes to close, no conscience of murder, rape, theft. No body, no feet, and no hands. No ears, no nose, no fingers or toes. Hanging under heaven, suspended over hell. Spinning in order to bake evenly. Can't kill myself, my blood has fled. No heart for my fear to tell. A crash then wakes me suddenly. Eyes open, see concrete. I am dead. This one is Ode to My Hate. Do I look like a vehicle because I come with a driver? Oh, hate, why do this to me? Tell me, I have need of no friends. If there isn't one in the mirror, well, I stare back and still can't tell. Why in this hell I'm so blind to the truth? I require so much, but offer so little. Now I come with a warning. Beware, I'm dead and gone. This one is Pathway. Stranger, stay away from this cursed fence. abominations no man can say. Hell's fire, its light of day. A victim of circumstance, I would like to leave, but I am impaled, wearing a shirt with one sleeve. No hope left for me to cleave. My salvation has sailed, so I straddle forever. A horse going nowhere, a result of me being clever, ignorantly pulling the lever. Too young to even care, now I have grown, reaping poisoned reward, a crop of hatred I have known. A field of contempt I have shown. My mistakes digest hard. I look to tomorrow and wait for the day I can drown out all my sorrow. A path for my anger to flow, my hidden pathway. This one is predictable. Predictable scribe and pen, ink the foreseen end, amused by the time, amused by what it hides. Ancient cloak of truth rediscovers its eternal youth. Truth betrays honesty, never honest you to me. How predictable. Predictability a curse, predicting even worse. Cursed by observation, cursed soul conservation. Emptied by knowledge, choosing anvil to sledge. Predicting all the while, gritted teeth, painted smile. How predictable. This is restive reminiscence. Strolling the parched path of life, easily tracked by the clouds of dust. Clouds of dust, clouded. A clouded life of distrust, resting, if you may call it so, by a pool of sin and cess. Pool of sin? Drowning. Unable to swim no less. Fleeting thoughts like many flies. Lighting on my stinking soul. Stinking thoughts? Lost. Oh, that I could shew the whole, remembering against my will life's antebellum bliss. Days of bliss? Blistered. Who could know wars like this, recounting life's woeful tale, etched on a wounded heart, bleeding heart, dying, will an end follow the start? This will be the last poem. This is called Spirits Communing. My heart breaks with longing in my soul's searching cry, but most only hear it, continuing life with a sigh. Discouraged at every try, but there is a communing, occurring beneath the skin, a heart that is yearning. Repentant of all sin, pleading, God, enter in. Words give no description, only in spirit it is plain. Longing for communion with the healer of the lame. One in spirit, in mind the same. The spirits communing, seeking the lofty height, where no words are spoken, only God is in sight. My soul takes flight, basking in His glory, expressing my heart's love. Joy is bursting forth, while sweetly soaring above. A fellowship of love, a heavenly communing, two spirits entwined, one from the Father, and yours by His side. With no words we abide. Trent was an awesome man. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better friend. He was funny. He was intelligent. He came into the Army when he was a little bit older, so that definitely that definitely already earned respect from other people, and he didn't act like a new guy when he showed up. Excuse me, he did act like a new guy, even though he was sometimes, 10 years older than the people in his unit. So, I have one story and then I'll stop. After my first deployment, Trent was there, so we called him Schmidt. We went to Munich for it was either a 3 or a 4 day. It was me and two other buddies, so it was me, Finn, and Schmidt. We hung around Munich. It was around some kind of Oktoberfest type fest. We ate some of the best food, went to clubs, drank beer, just the typical stuff you would do in Germany. We met these two girls who were, they were getting hit on by these, German guys. So, we thought we would just kind of watch and see what would happen. And come to find out, they were foreign exchange students from America, from the U.S. So once they figured out that we weren't German, and we figured out the same thing about them, we just we hung out basically the entire 3 days. Went to all these beer houses. We talked with all the locals. We were just having a great time. The one funny thing that I want to bring up is after, all of us had a bit to drink. And we were just walking around. Walking around downtown Munich and just looking at all the different buildings and just an awesome time. Well, Schmidt, if you eat and drink all day, eventually you have to poop. And this is probably like 2 or 3 in the morning, and there were no bathrooms, so he was just going to go down an alley. So all he had was a bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos, and all we heard was him screaming, and we couldn't figure out what had happened. Apparently, he ate the Cheetos really fast, and he was going to use the wrapper to wipe. But just being, a little bit inebriated, he had actually used the inside of the bag, and I guess when that touches your butthole after you had just evacuated your bowels, it tends to burn a little bit. So we all had a pretty good laugh about it. Schmidt wasn't happy for a while. He laughed the next day. But I'm going to read one more poem, and I'm going to try to make this end about when the video does. Schmidt told me this poem, and I actually used it a few semesters ago in college for a paper. If you've ever heard it, it's Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas. Schmidt really liked this poem, and I've liked it ever since then. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang the sun in flight, and learned too late, they grieved it on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men near death, who see with blinding sight, blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my Father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light.